Okay. Welcome everyone to the first select board meeting in Hartland in the new year. It's January 5th at 5:30. The first item of business are the select board minutes from the December 15th meeting. I need a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Thank you, Clyde. A second.
Second.
Thanks, Jim. Any discussion? John, under new business item 3, the first sentence is vague, like John gave information noting that an email was sent to the clerk and select board.
Yes.
Was this about the?
It was about what was
the open meeting laws?
Correct. Correct. We can clarify that.
Okay. Any other questions, suggested changes to the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on, the next item are the accounts payable or the orders through today, January the 5th. I need a motion to accept them.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Jim. A second.
A second.
Thank you. Enthusiastic board tonight. Any discussion?
For the south end streetlights, they're for $529.95.
The Route 5 lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, south end.
You don't know why
we had a
that's
south
it.
end. Have we figured out?
We're getting bigger.
We figured out yet why the library is so expensive compared to others?
We have not.
Okay.
We have not.
Yeah, I noticed that it jumped out on mine.
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Yep.
You talking for the electric bill?
Yeah.
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 Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a big building.
It's a big building. I think the entranceway having the kind of skylight doesn't help the situation.
Yeah,
But
just curious.
Just curious, is the welding tank and the welding torch just simple supplies, or has there been plow breakage?
well, I mean, we might use things are always breaking when they're getting used during the winter, so we might go through more gas and things like that. But that's kind of routine.
And the engineering payment to
Horizons.
for the Densmore Hill. That's at the Jennyville intersection.
Yep, that's the second payment we've made to Horizons Engineering. They're doing the design for that. But again, we have a grant to cover that cost.
Okay. The other piece was just curiosity. Martinsville Hydro Corp. We have a number of 1, 2, 3, 4 of one charge, and then there's a kind of a double of $134 as opposed to a whole bunch of 67s. What building is that for?
I don't know off the top of my head what the answer is.
Okay.
Martin, 3703, the library. There you go.
Sorry.
Really picking on the library tonight, huh?
J4A said something about theirs being, their percentage is double the other building. I didn't quite understand it.
Okay.
They will pay for in New Hampshire, that other place, the
Right.
CBA.
We're good.
Muted. Thank
Yep.
you.
Who is it?
I don't know. I think they were not,
A side comment.
yes.
Got it.
That did not appear to be a conversation for us.
Okay, any other questions on the accounts payable? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Let's move on to, are there any, item 2, just adjustments to the agenda? I'm not aware of any.
Nope,
John
none
is
for me.
shaking his head no. Okay. Let's go on to public comments. Are there any public comments? Yes.
Sherry Clark, making up a lot in here. Referring back, I mean, these are follow-up the meetings of April and May regarding Station Road. Signs were supposed to be put up, and it was supposed to be painted. Painting is done, but the signs are not yet put up. So, when is that? You can't put them up now because the ground is frozen. So, but the signs need to be, some of them need to be replaced because of the fading. But also on the north side, as you enter, they need to be indicating that there's no parking on that side.
Okay, I will follow up, Sherry.
And also, I mean, down the lower between the church and our driveway, they've got signs on the sidewalk side, which would be better used on the north side. Because typically, you're not gonna park on the sidewalk side.
Right.
You need to indicate on the north side there isn't any parking. So,
They should not park on the sidewalk side.
well, but they have even parked on the sidewalk. Anyway, that hasn't happened for a few years now, so.
Yep.
Anyway, so, and then back in this spring sometime, the North Hartland School, Tom, you had said it needed to be tested for lead and asbestos. Has that been done?
I think we're waiting to see what the town wants to do at town meeting.
Okay.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, Tom, if that's correct, the only reason we would do that is if we were going to demolish it, right? Otherwise, there's no need to test it.
They become the buyers.
Right. So if the town decided to demolish the building, it might need to be tested
Right.
for safety.
Right, I realize the outcome, depending on what the outcome is.
At town meeting, yeah.
Yeah, Sherry, we have later in the meeting, you'll see the draft articles for the town meeting, and one of them is out.
So, December, the lights are supposed to be on.
There, yes. As of December 30th, all equipment had been received and they're currently scheduling 3 weeks out.
Okay,
So,
so in January,
in January,
okay.
fingers crossed in January.
I question the wisdom of that.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, the last subject is our sidewalk tractor.
Yep.
The question is, the town has 2 tractors that could do that sidewalk. So,
One sidewalk tractor.
no, we actually have 2 tractors.
We have 2 tractors. One,
that can do the sidewalk work, because the other tractor did do the sidewalk work that last snowstorm.
no, the sidewalk tractor that we have is, we used it the first time it snowed this year. It had a bearing that went bad. It is down in Springfield, actively being replaced. The last couple times it snowed, we have been using a snow blower to do the sidewalks.
It was brutal.
Right.
Like I said, the last snowstorm, the other tractor was used to do from the school all the way to Mike's.
Was that the school's tractor?
Yeah, not our tractor.
And follow the other tractor that the school has. Because John Samuel, when he came back down through, he stopped to visit with him.
Sherry, I'm missing your point here. Where are
So
we going?
why isn't that, because the town owns both tractors, technically, because taxpayers' dollars. John Samuel said, we need to work together, because it was brutal watching Rob do that sidewalk with that walk behind, so he is more than willing to work, because he said the town has helped him out down at school when he's asked. And so, the sense of community,
Yep.
let's work, let's talk with John Samuel and see if that tractor is available for our work.
Well, the good news is that we will have our sidewalk tractor back,
Well,
soon.
that's what I mean, we know it's coming back, but
And,
Let's think about our town employee.
right, we're aware that it was an added strain to the person who works to clear the sidewalks.
But Plan B should be,
Well, we will,
Looking into that section.
we will manage the sidewalk clearing to the best of our ability. The school and the town are separate entities. Just because taxpayer dollars essentially pay for them both does not mean we can share those resources.
but you don't know that unless you ask.
We will clear the sidewalks to the best of our ability with the resources we have available to us.
Okay, Grace, John, or any more comments online?
Nope.
Okay,
That's the wrong tab, John.
Yep, I'm on it. No.
Still no.
Still no, but now we're looking at the right group.
okay. Let's move on to the first item under old business, which is the budget adoption. At our last December meeting, we knew there were a few outstanding items, and tonight I'm hoping John and Martin can bring us up to date and we can finalize the budget tonight. John?
Great. So there's been just a few minor adjustments to the budget since the last time we talked about it in mid-December. Again, folks had until the end of December to make adjustments to their health insurance. We had a few minor adjustments came in. We found that the dental insurance line item in the highway budget was incorrect, so we made that small adjustment. We added the lamb fertilizer back into the budget, which we had originally taken out. So we are still coming in under 5%. We're at 4.99%. So under 5%.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And if you look at the back of the budget, the last sheets, this one here, that's so the budget, this budget equates to a $44.10 tax increase per $100,000 of assessed value.
Right.
So we didn't make any changes since the last time you saw the budget, except for the highway dental insurance and any minor insurance changes. Everything else we had discussed previously.
Can you repeat that number to me one more time? The increase for 100,000?
$44.10.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Thanks, Clyde.
Well, we've been through this. Any questions, or can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve fiscal year 2027 budget as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's a tie for the second.
Trace can have it.
Trace, second. Give him credit. I'll take the beating.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would like to make just a follow-up comment. I want to thank the finance office and John for bringing us in at that 5%. It's been, I think we all had hopes of spending more money, but the reality is we didn't have it, so thank you. I also want to say thank you to the staff and the administration, the highway foreman, the head of the rec department, and the director of the library. We as a select board pushed back and asked for, after the budgets were submitted, to trim some more, and I do appreciate everyone doing that work. So thank you, and we're all anxiously awaiting what is going to happen at the school, and as most of you know, what's going to happen in Montpelier is also really being discussed right now. So thank you. So we've got a budget.
Thanks.
Let's move on to new business.
Oh, there's another item of old business stuff.
Gosh, I'm wondering why I wanted to skip that one. The next item is a town employee complaint. I'd like to try to summarize if I may, I'm sure I'm going to be leaving a few things out. As we as a board know, that complaints were filed by the staff regarding paid holiday policy on December the 8th. And an additional letter dated December the 29th filed by Mr. Weeks is in our packet. We have written to the town employees stating that the Library Board of Trustees under the state of Vermont statutes can modify the benefits of the library employees. On December the 15th, this board approved a letter from the chair, me, to the chair of the library trustees. The letter pointed out these discrepancies in the employee benefit area, recognizing the library's autonomy and asking for consideration of modifying their benefit package. The letter was dated December the 16th. The library chair responded that she would bring the letter to their full board in January at an upcoming meeting. In my opinion, at this time, I do not see the need for any additional action, but let's have a discussion.
One question, I thought I heard you say that there was a written response to the employees.
Yes, when you've notified employees early on of
There was never a formal written response provided to the employees. They got a copy of the letter that was provided to the trustees acknowledging the complaint and the select board's actions.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, because that's something that I hadn't seen. So I
Correct.
just wanna make sure I didn't miss that.
Correct.
Okay. Any other?
But maybe so that letter went, is there any further response that we should provide to the employees?
So in talking with the town attorney, no, there is no additional response that is needed or action needed by the select board at this time. So I think Phil covered it, right? There was 3 things submitted. There was the letter signed by all the employees, or many of the employees. There was the initial statement made by an employee at a select board meeting in December, and then the subsequent follow-up to that was received on December 29th, which was included in your packet. And then the letter that went from Phil to the library trustees. I'm pointing this way because you're here.
And it's just, everything just references differences between library policy and town policy.
Correct.
That's the complaint of the employees. Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it outlines they want compensation and the whole 9 yards, but I'd rather not get into that tonight at this point. Okay. Any other discussion on this? Again, I don't believe there's a need for any action. Okay. Moving on. First item for new business is a look at the town meeting articles. Again, this is very preliminary. John?
Yep, so we still have another 10 days or so before everybody has to get their appropriation requests in. We're still waiting for 2, basically, so we can finalize that. And then, as discussed at the last meeting, we took out the previous one. Everything remains the same. Martin and I have been talking about the need to make a transfer to the culvert fund because we know we have some larger projects coming up that we anticipate applying for grants for. There's never a guarantee. We're doing the engineering for the culvert at the corner of Jennyville and Densmore. That's just one of many that we know. So we established the culvert fund in 2022, and we put in, there's been 2 transfers of $100,000 each. So there's $228,000 or $208,000 in there or so right now. So we have in the past couple of years, a large unencumbered fund balance, which we could make a deposit, a transfer from the general fund to the culvert fund so that money is allocated for the replacement of box culverts and other culverts as needed in the coming years.
So I'd suggest, since we don't have a final capital plan, right, where we can look at all the projects we need to fund, it may be a mistake to tie up money specifically for culvert if we may have more important projects to fund, even the money's locked up. Maybe the culvert will be one of the most important projects, right? But until we see the whole plan and what the costs are, I think we should stay flexible on the cash rather than pin it down for a single use.
Jim, I worry about culverts in two ways. One, we know that there have been climate events that are causing culverts to flood out and roads to be taken out. And I'm aware just in my neighborhood, per se, a mile and a half, there's some really beautiful stone culverts, and they're failing. At some point, the one on northern part of Brothers Road, as beautiful as it looks, it's got to be replaced. So I feel that we need to build that reserve fund for that.
I agree with you 100%. My challenge is, we need to look as a board, look at all the projects and prioritize them. Maybe culverts are up there. Maybe the roof on the activity center rises to the top because it starts to leak. I think we have got to do our best due diligence to prioritize and then allocate the money, right? If you tie it up and, the box culvert of Jennyville is not the highest priority and you need cash for something else, you no longer have it.
It's for we do have, this is not even close to the entirety of the unencumbered funds that we have available to us.
I get that.
So,
But, it's like we have this much flexibility or we have this much flexibility.
Right, we would
So
be.
why just not keep the flexibility and then prioritize the projects and fund the ones that are most important?
Yeah.
Also, to add to that, I thought we were using some of the fund balance for the Quechee Road as well.
We had talked about that as an option.
It's part of that capital plan.
Right.
That'll be another debate. Do we need to allocate any money towards that project?
And if we needed funding for culvert work, we could just take it out of our existing funding.
We could take it out of our existing funding. And again, we have just over $200,000 in the culvert fund. However, the culvert fund was established, much like the bridge fund, for these projects specifically. If we are going to let that money sit in there, again, we will continue to apply for and try to find grants as they become available for things like culverts and bridges. However, we have our ability to get grants. Our need to replace culverts is not matched by our ability to get grants to replace those culverts or bridges. So we should be doing a fiscally prudent thing and setting money aside for the things that we know will need to be fixed.
That's a fine argument, but that would indicate that we should have a larger budget so that we're routinely setting money aside every year, right? So
An argument
all I'm
could be
saying is don't tie up your fund on a specific project. Keep it flexible, prioritize, do the ones that are important.
If we leave it in the general fund, then we're this close to finishing the capital plan. I think we just need to
Let's just finish it.
really early on, just push.
We've been saying this for 3 years.
Yeah,
We're really close,
yeah,
but we're not there.
we're not there.
So really close to being able to.
So I would have voted against this at this amount, but I would consider adding $100,000 to it. Sort of split the difference until, I agree with you. I think it's just a smaller amount. We really need, because I'm still confused about how we're going to pay for the Quechee Road. It's still not clear to me. So, I'm not willing to put it.
When I look at the bridge fund and the culvert fund and the general fund reserve, I look at those funds as your emergency money, not as your capital expense money, right? We ought to, as a town, we ought to always have enough money to run the town for 3 months without going for a loan. And if you look at those funds together, if there's an emergency that comes up, taxes don't get collected in September and we have to run, without cash coming in the door from July 1st to October 1st. That's why you have those reserve funds, to cover those types of situations.
Martin?
We have a reserve fund for that has $350 20 or 25,000 in it.
You're talking the general fund reserve?
No, we have a,
We put, that same year we did that, we put together a reserve fund, which is about 15% of our budget. So we can run 3 months
Right, but that's
with the money in there
right,
for
that's called
payroll
the general fund
expenses.
reserve fund.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if something came up, we can use it for emergency expenses. That's what it's there for.
Right, yeah. But I'm saying that 15% now, then, is no longer 15% of price
Right, but
increase.
it's still,
And you should
there's
have 25%.
there's still enough in there that can run the town for 3 months.
Not if you're down to 12% at this point.
For payroll and expenses,
So if you cut everything else.
yes, right. At least our core expenses are paid for 3 months.
Okay. So we're not asking for a vote tonight, but is the general consensus?
Well, I think we are.
no, we
We're
aren't
voting on the articles, aren't we?
We're working on the articles. We don't have to,
It's not finalized, but what I'm asking for is the general consensus that I'm going to agree that if we go 2 to 1, that would be a happy medium.
If that's your decision, I'll support it. Like I said, I think you should keep your money flexible.
Yeah. Clyde, Trace?
Do we know how much it's gonna cost us to replace the culvert in Jennyville?
no, we replaced the one up the road a little bit further.
And it was,
200 and,
50, 60.
yeah, like 240, I think is where the number came in. But again, we're eligible to get those grants periodically. However, that culvert fund, that's an example. This money might not be used for that culvert.
Right.
But there's the one on Brothers Road, there's 15 other ones that are gonna need to be replaced at some point.
it's waited this long, maybe if we put 100 in it, then next year, maybe another 100, and then we're there. Because it's gonna take that long to get everything together for the paperwork anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if we have another heavy rain and a disaster, we're never gonna have enough money anyways. I mean, it's just, but it's good to have funding available to do this, so that you're not putting so much pressure on the general fund.
Correct.
In our taxes. So,
And here's another stupid question, because I know you guys have looked at this 1,000 different ways, but when you are dealing with historic stone walls, sometimes there's grant money hidden in that space specifically for stonework. If that's historic in the state of Vermont. I'm sure you've peeled through all that.
We look under all the rocks.
Under all the rocks.
Literally. Under all the historic rocks.
the problem is we can't count on those, given the present administration in DC, those types of funds have all gone away. They're gone.
Right. That's challenging.
So we're pretty much on our own.
Claude, you've been quiet.
Well, I know you've got to put money in, and I see Jim's point, you got to say, you got to have a pool over here and a pool over here. And I'd go with Tom's idea, put 100,000 in.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay. Sounds good. So we have a straw vote to go ahead and lower it to.
The other 100,000 we can buy lottery tickets with.
Can towns purchase lottery?
Moving on, Phil, moving on.
I have to recover after that. Article 6, I'm worried that we have a very vague, what is sufficient land mean?
Wait, where are you, Phil? That's not
Article 5.
Article 5, okay.
I can wear my glasses next time. Okay, so in Article 5, for selling the North Hartland School, building along with sufficient land for a building lot. What do we mean by sufficient?
This is the article,
You could reword it, minimum land necessary for building.
Yeah, I mean, we were criticized last time about giving away parkland.
Sufficient is vague.
We have to be on top.
sufficient is vague, however, this is the article that was recommended to us by the attorney after we submitted a differently worded article last year regarding the park and future intended uses. We could so this is the article verbatim that was in that went out last year. So we could talk about wordsmithing that a little bit with the
What
attorney.
if we just said residential building lot?
Just up in the middle of the school building. as a residential building lot?
Yeah,
Or Jim, what was your
Minimum.
Question
land
is, we don't have
required for
any-
building lot.
Okay.
Regulation.
You know, something along those lines, you know,
so
the minimum that's needed.
the state
to
of
make a building
Vermont
lot.
is going to, they're gonna have to get a wastewater permit and all that other kind of happy stuff.
Well,
but they do-
the septic there already.
Well, but if it's new, they may have to replace the
They may have
septic
to,
system.
The only thing you can count on is
The thing they have going for, right, it's on the North Heartland Water
Correct.
District, so that's good. So, I mean, generally speaking, a lot usually has to be at least 2 acres.
Okay.
And so you're trying to reduce it so that it's not any kind of commercial use? By saying residential?
So, the feedback we got from the North Heartland folks when they did the citizens group, I don't think anybody wants any commercial industrial because of noise and other
They
things.
talked about selling it, using it, building a gazebo in the area, or trying to refresh the building itself.
The challenge we have is that currently there would be no ability to say what can or cannot be put on that site if the building was to be sold.
So why are we hung up on selling the building? Why don't we just destroy the building and just make it part of the existing center?
So there is a cost to be incurred with demolishing that building, removing the oil tank, filling in the cellar hole, all of those things. We could offset those costs, or could not have those costs by selling it to a private developer.
Right. And we're under a lot of pressure for housing, so anything we can get would be good. Any other discussion on?
So I'm sorry, what did we settle?
I will contact the attorney who proposed this wording to see if we can put a finer point on it under those 2 recommendations.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to be convincing the town that we should do this if we can't put a number on the acreage. Yeah, and you kind of outline what would be sold.
We can, there's an old that original park and school building were 2 separate parcels, and that subdivision line still exists. I think it might in fact still be 2 parcels. We can put an acreage number in there.
Would you mind sending that to us so we can get a visual?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're suggesting is land on the existing plot or plat?
Correct.
It's a subdivision.
Correct. The existing subdivision.
I think we should just check in with DEC and see about septic. See whether there be any changes.
Required.
Because it may be a non-conforming lot right now.
I might know some people.
Yeah, I think you might.
Okay, other points on the upcoming articles? Okay, thanks for your feedback.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Yep.
That 19th will have to be changed to the 20th, because the 19th,
It's a holiday.
we don't meet.
That is, thank you, Fly.
Okay. Moving on to new business, or we are on new business. Even with my glasses, I got lost. The next item is the Town of Hartland MOU with the Hartland Public Library. I'd like to, again, just read an outline of where we're at in order to make sure my colleagues here are up to date on that part. And then, let's have a discussion on where things are at. I want to start with first, what is an MOU? A memorandum of an understanding is a formal document created by 2 parties. In this case, the parties are the Town of Hartland and the Hartland Town Library. It is being drafted in order to demonstrate commitment to working together and establish a framework for working together in an effective manner. Identify business processes that happen between the town and the library and indicate responsibility for the steps in those processes. It is intended to be a set of guidelines and actions and not a legally binding document. So why the MOU? For many, many years, the library and the town have worked together. The library staff are on the town payroll system. The library budget is part of the total town budget. The library is housed in a town-owned building. The town finance office handles the accounting and the payroll. The buildings and ground staff support the library, maintaining the infrastructure and surrounding property. There are state of Vermont statutes that guide the operation of a municipal town like Hartland, and there are separate state statutes that guide municipal libraries. Over the past year, the trustees of the library have been seeking autonomy as allowed under these state statutes. The trustees have the legal right to seek this autonomy, as both parties have made changes, both parties being the town and the library. Many speed bumps have occurred, causing frustration on both the town and the trustees' side. The town has engaged our legal counsel to draft a MOU. We have the draft in our packet. A small group is representing the town. It's myself, Tom, and John, and on the library side, 2 trustees and the library director. This group is working to resolve any differences in the draft, moving toward acceptance. At an upcoming meeting, we, the board, will have the final draft of that MOU for our approval. And I think that brings us up to date. Any questions?
Great. So this is, again, just for your awareness, so the whole board, because as Phil mentioned, Phil and Tom and I have been, have looked at the MOU. We've met with Tina and Meredith and Tracy just twice, but we talked about the MOU just before the holidays. I don't recall. So this is for your awareness, so that the entire board is aware of what's happening. And this would, in essence, add a finer point to what you had in your packet, which is the original Hartland Public Library building alteration guidelines, which are antiquated and vague. So this kind of clarifies some of what's in here and puts a finer point on some of the other things, including payroll processes and things like that.
So what's happening now is, I believe I'm right, town is going to take the lead with the first draft and then give it to the board library trustees for them to review, and then we were going to get back together. So the reason I'm bringing that up is what you see here today is not going to be what you're going to see once we have a sort of quote unquote final draft of the committee. And then we'll be seeking input from the board. So if there's some things in here that you feel fairly strongly about, please let John know so we can at least take that into consideration when we're finalizing. But I think that's where we're at, and then we're gonna, I don't know the date. Did we ever come up with a date of when we're gonna, what time?
And we're meeting in person on the 15th.
On the 15th, okay, so it's on January 15th.
It's my understanding that both parties are contributing line item edits.
Sure.
Yes.
To the two of you.
By Friday.
Friday.
Friday, right.
So we are pushing through that process on our side.
So what we're pretty close to being done with our draft, and we have track changes in it.
And then we get our track changes.
And then we're gonna look at them together.
Big messy. Hopefully not.
But I think more than anything, this just has clarity as far as roles, responsibilities, procedures, and the like. And not to disagree with my chair, but I would say that this agreement is somewhat binding.
An MOU by nature of itself is not
binding, but I think it's considered to be.
It's the intention.
Yeah, of it being binding. Yeah.
I was going to turn to Tina Meredith just for your comments.
Yeah, Tina Stia, in Hartland. I think that it's important because as board changes, directors change, select board changes, I think it's good to have an MOU that kind of follows. So, every 3 years we're up for renewal in our placement. So I think it's really important. So thank you for coming together with this.
Yeah, we have, when you'll do walks through the physical structure and everything, but do we actually have, how often do we look at the MOU itself to refresh it? We may want to have something in there. I don't recall that language. Okay. So we're on our way to get this done. You guys are shaking your head. Okay.
Any questions on the process or the language within the MOU?
I'm pretty sure the 6 of you can get it right.
Yeah.
Or get it really wrong.
No pressure.
I think just to understand the lag time, because you all meet every 2 weeks and we meet monthly. So our board is going to have a similar conversation on the 21st, but they won't be seeing, they won't have input into the 15th as similarly been outsourced, your charge. So we'll give them an update of the meeting on the 15th at that point. And so we're talking February, third weeks of the month. So hopefully we would have an agreement, we would have a document that we would discuss and I plead with our board to accept because of all the work that's gone into it, third week of February. So really very close to town meeting time. We're hoping this will be final.
So let me just make sure, January 21st is your next meeting.
Yeah.
And you'll have the letter that the board sent to you on the employee complaints.
Yeah. On the agenda.
And you're hoping to have it, well, whatever's available for the MOU at that time, just as a discussion point.
Much cleaner.
Okay.
The line items will be agreed to or not.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be, maybe. But I don't know if between the 15th and the 21st, it will miraculously fall into the theme. Yeah. Hopefully, that'd be very exciting.
Okay.
But it sounds like we wouldn't get it to approve until after town meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I don't see this getting approved before town meeting, but again, I think
it's business as usual until then.
Right, it's business as usual, we have other things that we need to get through. However, the fact that we're in this process is a positive step in the direction, right? This isn't gonna just become one of those future agenda items that lingers out there for a long time.
And many of the processes that it outlines are already in place.
Right.
There's been a lot of reform and understanding and discussion already about how the library law, how the two organizations mesh, which is has been useful and productive. At least for our perspective.
Okay, thank you. Moving on.
Can I just throw one thing back to the North Hartland School?
Yep.
It looks to me, based on the tax card, that the whole thing is only an front court with tennis courts and field. If that's the case, I'm not sure that it's realistic to carve off a piece of the land.
Well, there are two separate deeds for that piece of property. So, and I think the building sets on the original piece. So it wouldn't be a case of, actually it wouldn't be a subdivision because you're selling off something that never was joined.
Right, we wouldn't have to subdivide it, because we went down this last year about this time. So we would not need to subdivide the parcel itself. Jim, I think that it's a historic village. There's many lots in that area that are less than 2 acres. I don't know where. So I think we could move forward with selling it as a buildable lot.
Right, the lot next to it looks like it's a quarter of an acre.
Right. Right, the other residential lots in the neighborhood there. Exactly.
Okay, moving on, last item under new business is dirt road speed limit. We asked John to do some checking with Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and I believe you've done that.
Yep. So I think we've gotten a number of kind of complaints and comments in the past year or so about the speed on some dirt roads in particular. Some of those that are connecting dirt roads, Hartland Hill as an example. So what is the select board's ability to adjust the speed limit on those roads? Under the guidance of the League of Cities and Towns, they do not recommend the select board do things like adopt policies to set speed limits because those are unenforceable. If we wanted to amend the speed limit on dirt roads, so something between 25 and 50, which are the parameters we have to work within, the select board can craft and adopt an ordinance, which becomes an enforceable document, which we would provide to law enforcement agencies who provide services in town.
And they can't do it if we don't have an ordinance?
They can, but it's not enforceable.
But do we already have an ordinance?
I don't believe we have a speed limit setting ordinance.
Didn't you back in the day talk about this when Gordon and Mary and others? I thought you changed.
We have a traffic, I think we have a traffic ordinance, Jim.
I don't think
You didn't have it, but you were talking about this, right?
we've been talking about it since I've been in the town.
Because wasn't it by default 50 or something?
It's a little confusing.
Correct. I mean, I think this is the first important fact, is that if things are not posted, there may be two speed limits, 50 and 35.
Well, no, so I think if things are not posted, we can post them, right, with what the set speed limit is, which I believe is 35. That sets the speed limits on individual roads.
We have a ordinance to regulate the road speed of motor vehicles.
Correct. But this
is 35 miles an hour maximum on all town roads, unless otherwise posted.
This would allow us to amend that specifically on individual roads. So
right, but I mean, this says 35 unless otherwise posted. Right. So we can otherwise post whatever we want.
Correct. We should look at what that says and have that run by the attorney.
Yeah, there's probably others that we should look at as well.
What's the date on that?
Right.
A good question. 1988.
Right.
Wasn't even born.
It's not that long ago.
I had.
I think it was like yesterday.
No.
Jeez.
Red Sox lost the Oakland.
Yeah. Carl, it's the whole thing.
I was 8.
Yeah.
How's that?
No comment. Moving on.
So we can, Jim, I will look at the existing traffic ordinance. The question is whether or not we want to amend speed limits on individual roads.
We have another ordinance that amends speed limits on individual roads. It's the Town of Hartland traffic ordinance.
Right.
So we'll get a list of roads in there with different speed limits.
Is that 1935?
Mason and Bowers Road is 25 miles an hour.
Thank goodness. 30.
Depot Road is 25 miles an hour.
But there is no signage to tell you those speeds.
So, again, going back to this, if we put signage up, is it enforceable?
If we haven't adopted an legally enforceable ordinance, it would be.
What's stopping us from doing that?
At the moment, nothing.
Okay, let's do it.
How about we see what the legal speed limits are supposed to be on all town roads and revisit that conversation before we start enforcing
This one is when Tom graduated high school. That's 2016.
So we can, at the next meeting,
16.
we can talk about these, because then things may have changed since from 1988 or 20.
There could be other conflicting ordinances.
Exactly.
May I ask what the goal of this is?
To make it safer on the roads? Because right now, what's happening?
By putting signs up, it's going to make it safer?
Yes, because people can see the signs, they can see the speed, and they can say, oh, I should be driving under 35 miles an hour. Right now, there's no speed limit signs on those roads at all. So otherwise posted is 50 miles an hour, and people that have moved here can go as fast as they want on those roads without getting pulled over for it. And there's been so many complaints from everybody in this town that it's finally time to do something about it, including the people that plow and sand our roads. Thank you.
So how do you really feel?
Are you old enough to drive?
I certainly am.
Maybe too old.
The only comment that I'll make is I'm riding a bike and sticking below 25 miles an hour at 25 miles an hour is often hard.
On your bike?
I'm not sure we would set
Yeah.
that as the limit, but I mean,
Yeah.
maybe based on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, even 35 miles an hour would be good, but right now they're 50.
Right.
They're not.
There's an intent to
We have
post
this
65 miles of roads with signs.
No. So what do you get?
The beginning and the end of each road.
Unless otherwise.
They have to be so many
So it's
feet
a
of the
sign.
intersection.
Right.
Both ways.
It's a state
Board
law.
enforcement issue.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an enforcement.
Okay,
And we
so
can't take care of
So there's two
before we
things though.
wander too far,
Let's do more homework on this.
yeah.
Right, let's do more homework, but
Ready to-
what it becomes is an enforcement issue, right? We have upped the contract with the Wilkes County Sheriff's Office to 40 hours a week in FY '27. We still have the existing contract with the Vermont State Police. We have the elected constable still. We send things like this out to them as we're aware of, speeding on Route 12 or what have you. But it simply is going to become an enforcement issue.
Well, it's always an enforcement issue. There's no way to enforce 100% of the roads 100% of the time.
No.
So,
Right, but there's always that chance.
yeah, so I mean,
I'm not suggesting we do nothing.
we should review it. We should
Right.
figure out what things are today and decide if anything needs to change.
Correct.
You don't have to enforce it all the time, but word gets out pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
If there's a chance you might get pulled over if you're doing 55 and a 35, which is a really major fine.
You might move a milk house.
Correct.
Okay.
We do not have the ability
All right,
to
let's move on.
enforce
Let's move on here.
the speed limits.
I would worry.
Yeah,
Right.
excitable.
I figured this was going to be not a good answer to.
Oh, and I'm just getting ready to grab Tracy if he tries to jump.
Okay, let's go on to a really light topic, town manager update.
Yeah, so Jerry brought up the lights. So look, we anticipate the lights coming, and we anticipate being contacted by Electric Light for the installation. If I don't hear from them again, by the middle of the week, I'll touch base with them again. Again, my last contact was on the 30th. So, with the holiday, it's only been a week.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating. I can sense it, but it's only a week and a half behind. They're about 2 weeks behind schedule at this point.
My point is we need the lights,
Yep.
but I really don't want to have to come back in the spring and redo any sort of part of the operation of the installing
We have been
because of frozen ground.
We were assured by them when it was pointed out that their installation was in winter, that it was a completely feasible operation for them.
Are you signing a contract with them to do it?
We did, back when we purchased them.
Contract have language in it that they'll fix anything that breaks like concrete.
Right. I believe there was a warranty on the lights, but we'll double check that in that contract.
I mean, there should be some kind of warranty around the construction work.
Yep.
Especially if they're doing it this time.
Yeah. Again, I expressed our concerns that this was going to be in December and January.
But they don't care. They're not going to pay for any damage.
They are also coming from Maine. They're a northern company. They're not, so they're, well used to working in cold climates.
Okay. I'm trying to be really excited about it.
So we'll stand out there with flashlights on town meeting day.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's it's happening in the coming weeks. Next, Clyde pointed out that our next regularly scheduled meeting would be on a holiday, so it will be on Tuesday, the 20th of January. Write that down, mark that on your calendars. We talked about this previously. There has been some ongoing water issues at the library causing some leaks in the basement. We have tracked down and fixed that problem. It was a broken connection at the pump that is in the middle of Foster Meadow, the field there.
The faucet.
The faucet, yep. So that's been fixed and replaced. We still have to replace the pressure tank at the library. The company was going to order one. We will schedule that to be completed on a Monday when the library is closed, so there's no interruption in service there. Again, it's not an immediate need. This is a preventative measure that was noted by the company.
Any damage that needs to be repaired?
I don't believe there was damage that
Not
needed
this time.
to be repaired. Right.
It's just been mitigated, so
Right.
it kind of flips out and moves in.
Right. So we're safe there. We believe we've tracked down all the issues. It's worth noting, it's a very confusing and clunky system. As the water comes in, it comes in at the front of the rec center, has all the mechanicals, enters the back of the rec center. There's multiple faucets off that line to the community garden, and then one in the middle of the field where it used to get flooded for skating, I believe, and then it enters the library. At some point down the road, we might want to consider revisiting how that is designed and set up.
Do we actually know where that piping runs now?
Yes, because it leaked.
Okay.
But yes, we are aware of where it runs now.
And what leaked was a freeze-proof hydrant?
The connection from the standpipe from the faucet broke, so they dug that out, and they were able to come the next day because they were working
that's good
with
news. So the install worked.
Yes, everything is back in operation.
But what were you suggesting? You're suggesting that the library should have its own well?
Well, in an ideal world, I think that is the best solution here. Yeah.
Another item for the capital plan?
Yeah, right. I think it was 25 years ago when we took ownership of that building. This was likely a cost-saving measure to bring water to the structure. But it does present some structures.
Wasn't that long ago?
It does present some challenges as we've been experiencing in the past
Well, you can't remember even doing it.
year or so.
John?
Well, the water was out there.
I think they moved it a long way, because I've been walking a lot on those fields, and they moved it over to the far side of the baseball field. There's never been a hand pump there.
So this is they moved.
If I was there when the dirt was still raw.
Yep.
Fix it. Hand pump, there's a.
Yep.
Like old hand pump. I think it was moved from by the tennis courts all the way out into the middle of the field.
I think the one by the tennis courts is still there.
So now there's two.
I should double check. I'll double check. Yeah. Because my understanding is that one had always been there from we used to flood the field, create a skating rink in the winter.
So there's those two connections.
I don't,
It's like right in the middle.
It is right in the middle of the field. I agree. It's probably not great for a soccer game, but it's what we have right now. And then lastly, we just confirmed just before the meeting, town staff will be having a holiday party on next week on Thursday, and we will likely invite the board to attend to say hello, attend, and
What time?
probably at 4 p.m. at the Skunk.
Ooh.
On Thursday, the 15th. So you'll see an email from me tomorrow on that. We did that as a holiday this year as opposed to what we've done traditionally in years past. Folks seem to appreciate getting together outside of, or during, folks seem to appreciate the entire town staff, meeting and getting together.
You said it's 4 o'clock?
It will be at 4 o'clock before they open for the
On the 15th?
On Thursday.
The 15th?
Yep.
We haven't come.
Yeah, I have the MOU.
I thought that was on Friday.
I-
We will revisit. We will.
I'm just letting you know, there's a conflict.
We might have a conflict with an existing meeting, but we'll work with.
Or we could
We
take
can-
our beverage and go upstairs and
Give us some.
We have a minor conflict, but we're gonna move forward with the 15th, and hopefully the trustees can be amenable to an amended meeting time or dates, hopefully. Again, I think, to the previous discussion, Meredith,
I think is listening, but.
we are, I think that this, because of the scheduling conflicts, or how you meet versus how the select board meets, if the MOU discussion gets delayed by a week, it's not gonna create significant challenges, or a couple days. So,
That's fine, it's great, and it's very kind of everybody in White House now.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We hope everybody can make it.
Have you had the next meeting about the Pole property?
I met with a representative from the Land Trust and a representative from Hartland Winter Trails just before the holidays to talk about additional trails, but there's been no additional movement since then.
Okay. Should I try to call a meeting back together again, or is this really in the Land Trust?
It's in the Land Trust. It's within the Land Trust right now. And again, not much trail development is going to be done.
I appreciate that.
In January.
I'm still
or February for that matter.
Reacting to when we started.
But I think there's a good plan to make 4-season trails available for all users on the Pole property. And we anticipate that work happening, again, when the ground thaws.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's
Thank you, John.
What trucks do you have on order now, and what's the time frame?
We have an existing F600 in the garage right now. That is the cab and chassis only. That is waiting to go up north for a plow package. So we should have that one back for winter next year. And we have a 10-wheeler that is, I believe, actively being fitted out with a plow package. I think that went to Maine, to Viking in Maine.
Yeah, 6-wheelers getting.
The 6-wheeler, not the 10-wheeler.
We should have in March, and
Yep.
the 10-wheeler, I think March-ish.
Yeah. So the issue is not getting the trucks, it's getting them outfitted with everything that we need.
But is it just a plow package, or are there other components?
So for the 6-wheeler and the 10-wheeler, it's just the plow package.
Well, dump truck, dump body.
On the 600,
Yep, on the big truck too.
that's, okay. I think it comes with this.
So they're going in for the plow package.
Going for, so the Ford 600 has to go in for a dump body and a plow
Right.
package. Because we had a cab and chassis. The jump truck goes in, but I still think there's some upfitting in the bed with the plow package.
Right, it's about, but not the dump body.
Not the dump body.
Not the dump body itself, it's the mechanics, the mechanicals within the dump body, so it can spread sand and things like that.
So the 600 dump body is going to get done in March as well.
We anticipate having that truck for winter next year.
So sometime between March and December.
Correct. Probably towards the December timeframe, unfortunately. It's just a matter of, it's their schedule, and we are a little bit at their mercy when it comes to when it comes to outfitting. Okay. So, which is good. We've had a few trucks break. It's been a bit of a rough.
But we have the old truck still.
We still have the old truck. Well, not the 550. We got rid of the red truck. We still have the existing truck that the new 6-wheeler is replacing. What we are working to actively do is not spend a ton of money fixing it, because we know that a new one is coming. Things like ice storms present some additional challenges to older trucks. So we're doing the best that we can and trying to kind of bring it along to meet our needs without doing significant repairs to it.
Okay. Moving on to future agenda items, we already talked about the need for us to get back to the capital plan, so I'd like to get going on that. Highway policy, we were consolidating 4 different policies into one, and I don't when that's ready, it should come back to us. And then the piece that we need to tackle and have a clear presentation for town meeting is the Quechee Road and what we're doing for that. On that point. John, is there any correspondence?
There's no correspondence. I will have one other future agenda item. We have to get back to the board's review of the town plan as well.
So do we have the Two Rivers draft done, completed?
I believe I have that from Kevin. I will double check.
Because I haven't
Brian,
seen it,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
kind of sends along.
So,
What did you say?
town plan, so
Town plan,
is
yeah,
Two Rivers
that's-
providing a list of recommendations, or are they providing a new draft?
They are providing a new draft of approved changes that the planning commission, they approve the changes, but not the changes within the document itself.
Is Two Rivers making additional changes beyond what the planning commission changed?
No,
Okay, so it's still the same plan.
correct.
All right.
There will be a list of other recommended changes that came up during the public hearing that for the board to consider making.
Okay, so there may have been a mistaken impression that Two Rivers was coming up with their own recommended changes.
No, they're not doing that.
And we're talking the first meeting in February, the second,
For
the public just presentation for the town plan.
Oh, better not be.
But yeah,
I don't think we can.
no, that time frame doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with a new
We
time
haven't even
frame.
discussed it.
Exactly.
No, I hear you,
Yeah.
but we were telling the general public the second,
Yeah, well, that came up
way
in,
back when.
yeah, I mean, that came up in early December, but nothing was ever set in stone on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just an FYI, the planning commission next week, next Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, has the first meeting to talk about the unified bylaws with Two Rivers. So they will be starting to engage themselves as well as the townsfolks in that discussion. So that's this Wednesday. Okay, that's it. So any other business? Okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Great, we're done.